Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. I'm Amy, I'm from Amy's Rambles.
And I'm Rachel from Miss Daisy Sewing, as is Missy here.
And I probably spoiled it just by holding up the book, but today we are going to be celebrating food inspired by Lord of the Rings. In particular, we're going to be using recipes from the world of Tolkien, which
I have not used before, so this is a new cooking endeavour for myself.
So this is our third episode, but our first time where every recipe is brand new to both of us.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so I think in the meantime, we're going to go get set up in the kitchen.
Yep.
We have done a little bit of pre-prep, so you guys can enjoy that while we get set up.
Excellent. See you in the kitchen.
Cool.
So on the menu, we are going to have limeous bread, served with the Prancing Ponies potato and garlic soup. For the main, we're going to go with the Green Dragons mushroom and leek pie. And for our dessert, we're going to go with strawberry and lavender shortcakes, but instead of the strawberry, we're going to go with a gooseberry and rosemary jelly.
Described as inspired by Samwise Gamgee's love of herbs, I couldn't resist making a start with some gooseberry and rosemary jelly. Sans the rosemary and with the inclusion of a lot of rhubarb. I raided out the freezer from last year's fruit and then just followed the instructions. Mostly that involved boiling up said fruit, mashing said fruit, and then crabbing it through a sieve. Then it was time to add in a lot of sugar before boiling it all over again up to that magic 106 degrees Celsius, which is the setting point for jelly, and then getting it into the jars and allowing to cool.
Okay, I am going to crack on and make the actual shortcake of the strawberry and vanilla shortcakes. Just figure I can get them prepped here, take them down to Rachel's tomorrow, so Rachel doesn't have to do all of the prep. I don't know how noticeable it is, but I have 2 bowls out. I'm going to make 2 batches because I don't trust the lavender. The recipe calls for lavender petals. I only have dried lavender, so I'm going to reduce how much lavender I use anyway, and it is edible grade, don't worry. But yeah, without further ado, I'm just going to crack on and get on with it. Oh, and I have taken a picture and then transcribed the recipe, so I do have a promise, once again, following a recipe. And I double and triple checked that I wrote everything down right. So now I'm just going to rub the butter in till it gets to breadcrumbs. Because Rachel's husband has issues with dairy and lactose, the butter I'm using is actually the Stork block, so although it's not like super obvious on the packaging, it does say on the little side, it is vegan, which means it's dairy free, so this should in theory all be very safe for him to consume, and is just accidentally vegan, which is always nice. Now you can see we've got a nice breadcrumb mixture. There are still a couple of bigger bits, but they're going to come. The next step is pretty much going to involve combining all together, so I'm not too worried about that. The lavender is potent. We are not adding an entire tablespoon. Just off the bat, not a chance. So I'm gonna go with, I don't know if you can see, but like a little less than, just over half a tablespoon. So not, just a bit more than half of what they're asking. I'm just gonna give it a quick grind up because it is like actual like buds type. There, the lavender is either going to be absolutely incredible or I am going to be so incredibly grateful I am making a second batch. There's going to be no in between. There's not going to be a bite this and go, yeah, it's okay. It's either going to be, damn, that's really good, or oh heck no. I'm also slightly awkward with this. I have hurt my right wrist. It's getting a lot better. I can use it again, but I feel like kneading dough is just pushing it a bit too far. And my left hand's just not as coordinated. Again, a little bit dubious about this recipe. Although for the most part has been really nice and really simple. I love a simple recipe. It doesn't want us to chill these. And because it's very much going to be, I'm discovering shortcake is going to be a lot more biscuity than cakey. The thought of not chilling my biscuit dough, I'm dubious. So that is them all cut, baked, and out of the oven. I'm not convinced. I'm not 100% sure what these are supposed to look like. I gave the lavender ones about twice as long in the oven because they just weren't catching any colour. But they are now, this is like my tester one, like quite solid, like biscuit-like. I'm not getting any cake likeness from them. The plain ones, I only gave an extra 5 minutes, so they're still cooling. We'll see how they go. And yeah, you'll see towards the end of the episode how they turn out.
Do you want to start prepping for the soup, and I will start prepping the bread?
Yes.
Excellent.
I can get all of the tatties, because it's mostly just chopping tatties, which I am perfectly capable of doing. And then I can move on to any chopping needed for... Yeah, the pie is just trimming them. Yeah.
Excellent.
I am the chief veg chopper.
Yay!
It's like now basically my role in these videos.
Sure. Do you need to weigh out a certain amount of potatoes? So we just...
750, so I'm just going to do... That's a 2 kilogram bag, so I'm just going to do about half of it. And if we have a little extra... Does anyone really mind extra tatties?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Right.
Yes. So I just need to peel and cut. Can I steal a knife, please?
Of course. There we are.
I say I'm kind of glad that I did the prep for the shortcake, because it shows that I can actually cook without someone else handing me literally everything.
Spoilers.
They've seen the bits. Don't want to tell you how to edit this video, but you've already cut the prep in here.
This is where it's listening versus reading things. It is spelt with an E, but is it pronounced lambus or lambus?
I've always said lambus.
I've always said lambus, but that's how I've heard it.
But I'm also going to say that's how they pronounce it in films.
Ah.
And I came to Lord of the Rings from the films first.
Okay, that makes sense. Full disclosure, whilst I have technically, in quotations, read the books, I have listened to them.
Still counts.
So,
still counts.
100% still counts, but it does mean that there are pronunciations I have learned through audibly, then yeah. So sometimes I'll see a word and I've got no idea what that is, and then someone's like, oh, that's how Alan is spelled. And you're like, oh, I did not know that.
So you have almost like the opposite of the, I've seen this word down and I pronounce it blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I have a lot of words like that, to be fair.
So much of my reading is blah, 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 blah.
Okay. So, but yes, as I was saying, the lambus bread, so they call it a bread, but it's not a risen bread. It's more like your sort of traditional, sort of like your American type cornbreads, where it's kind of like a batter that's then baked almost like a cake. So that'll be fun. I do like a cornbread. This actually does have cornmeal in it, so it's kind of a cornbread. So let's just get to this one. Obviously the recipe calls for palancha, but you can just sub that in with your cornmeal. They're all kind of one and the same, but I do a lot of cornbread, so cornmeal for me is better.
I was actually going to ask, I can remember you saying that polenta is basically cornmeal.
Basically. Especially in this context.
I had no idea what polenta was when we first chose this recipe. But we couldn't not make lambus bread. Oh,
I almost did an Amy there and used a tablespoon rather than a teaspoon.
Is that just going to be like a running thing now, isn't it?
I kind of think it is.
Yep. This is why I'm chief vegetable chopper and not chief measurer.
This recipe does call for parmesan, but I'm just going to put in a wee handful of cheddar because I couldn't be bothered buying parmesan for, 3 tablespoons.
Oh, also, fun fact, parmesan is not vegetarian.
Yes, you mentioned this because it does state here or vegetarian equivalent, and I was just like, what do you mean? How is it? It's cheese, and yeah, please.
Like cheese is what separates the vegetarians from the vegans. It is, if memory recalls correctly, it has. I want to say it's like fat rendered from the calf
stomach, yeah,
stomach or intestines or something, but it does have like actual part of the cow in it as opposed to just a cow product.
Yes, which
unfortunately is one of those things, and is kind of why I'm kind of grateful I'm vegetarian, is that the more you know something about something, like if I knew that before I'd gone veggie, I'd have given up parmesan a lot longer because my brain would just think about it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not opposed to people eating it. Eat what you want. But I very much have that brain. The more I know about something, especially if it's a less than savory fact,
yeah,
the more my brain just zeroes and focuses in on it, and it's just like, yeah, nope, I can't eat that food anymore. That's why I've only ever eaten vegetarian haggis. I'm sure it tastes lovely. But...
So I'm texture driven in a lot of my foods. So it's not even the taste of haggis, just the physical look of it. I'm just like, no. So I haven't eaten haggis since I was probably 6 or 7. Just the physical look of it just gives me the book.
So it's interesting. I like the texture of vegetarian haggis, but I could not tell you how it compares to non-veggie haggis.
No, it's just the physical look of the thing. I'm just like, nope. Oh, phew, that was close.
Oh, you really did nearly do. Oh, yeah. These kind of kitchen blunders, we're just going to refer to them as an Amy.
So, whilst we're going for normal cheese, we're trying to keep the recipe today as low lactose as possible. Not only is Matt joining us for dinner, we have a friend coming today as well who is also lactose intolerant. So, hence the lactose-free. So, not sponsored, but kind of sponsored by Arla today. Because they've also provided the cream.
And you know what? I really like the fact that our first bookish cooking that has, where we're feeding someone else other than the expected people, myself, Rachel, and her husband. It just feels right that it's a Lord of the Rings / Hobbit meal, because hobbits love feeding other people.
And then we have to get our chili. So I shall take you along with me to pick our chili. Actually, no, because you can see out my window. Don't want to talk to myself.
She basically has the choice of 2 chilies.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's more chilies than I would.
Look at this bad boy. It is huge. I have no idea what kind of chili this is or how spicy it is, because I bought them and then lost the label. I'm going to very carefully chop this up to make sure there's definitely no seeds, because they are obviously the hottest part of the chili. And one of us,
there's
rock, paper, scissors, tries it.
There's varying spice level tolerances in this party tonight.
Oh, yes. I'm the baby spice.
I have made the joke with other friends that if my certain meals are not red, they're not hot enough.
The smell is giving me more bell pepper than chili pepper, but I will volunteer Amy as tribute to try a tiny little piece just to know how much we're putting in here. Because I don't think I'm the only baby spice tonight.
I don't know what Laura's spice tolerance is. Yeah, good. Oh, don't swear, Amy.
It's okay, that's what editing's for. Basically, do we put all of this in or just some of it?
Oh.
That looks like a sum.
It doesn't hit you initially, but I personally would put all of this in, for your sake, don't.
Just I mean, I can pick the chilies out. I'm not averse to that.
To be fair, I think the heat will die down a bit as they're cooked.
Especially once it's in the whole thing.
And yeah, and because there's so much dairy and things in there.
We're going to go for it. Go for it.
I'm proud of you for being brave. My tongue in the back of my throat are now tingling. That's a pretty potent chili, actually.
A cup of tea or something to wash it down.
I always say yes to a cup of tea, but... Oh, actually, wow. So you're just eating it straight on its own?
Do you want me a cup of milk?
Whew.
Yeah, I'll get the kettle on.
Maybe not as tolerant as I thought I was.
I'll get the kettle on.
Oh, wow.
In a sec.
I can give you a whisk.
Alright. No point in talking whilst the kettle boils.
Nah. Although, be amazed when you're playing this back. You will hear so much of it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
It's alright if you want to have a go whisking. We can swap these if you want, if your wrist is getting...
Can I swap?
Yeah. We'll just swap these. There we are.
What do I need to do? Is it literally just the mixing?
Yeah, it's just mix and then it's going to be chucking it in a pan. Again, keeping this friendly for the lacto-free kids in the back. We're putting in, I've got olive oil spread, and we're going to use instead of the butter.
Do you want me to take over like the actual mixing?
Yeah.
The actual making of the soup?
Yes.
So that it's less...
Yes, because I'll start
less
prepping.
intense.
Yeah, because I'll prep up the the veg prep for the pie. That's the word I'm trying to find. Pie. Fun fact about Lord of the Rings. I could not read that book. I attempted it like 5-6 times. And could I get past Bilbo's speech? No. I couldn't get out the Shire. Like, I just could not get past it. They love their food and their company that much that I was so bored to tears I could not read that book. Hence why I listened to it in the end and had somebody else witter away.
So, interestingly, with Lord of the Rings, I did a lot better reading them physically with my eyeballs than I did listening to them. The first one wasn't too bad. I think it helped having all of the songs and Tom Bombadil, I'm sorry, and the Council of Elrond. It helped having someone whittering away in my ear and not having to slog past that. No shade to Lord of the Rings. I absolutely adore Lord of the Rings. We wouldn't be doing this episode if we didn't like Lord of the Rings. But they are hard reading. But by the time I got to the second one, I had to move over to reading it. I don't know if it was just the specific narration that I was listening to, but Aragorn is so whiny. Oh my lord!
This coming from someone whose favourite author is Robin Hobb, and therefore one of her favourite characters is Fit Chivalry, the king of whiny. I love him too, it's okay.
I love Fitz despite how whiny he is. I almost didn't love Aragorn because he was so whiny.
So that needs 20 minutes. So get the bread out. Whew. Which? Look at the bread. Oh.
Bye. Bye.
Does look good. Another successful dinner, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of critiques.
Yeah. So, where to start? Okay, so the first disaster was the jelly.
Yeah.
But I feel we salvaged that by using it as a cordial syrup as
Yeah.
our drink. So, I will concede that and learn my lesson next time. I'm 90% certain it was that I didn't get it to a high enough boiling point. The other main critique, though...
I was right to distrust the lavender. I was right to doubt it.
Yeah, it tasted like soap.
The only way it was edible in even small quantities was literally slathering it, and I mean drowning it in jam and cream.
Oh, interestingly, both our friend and Matt didn't seem to mind the lavender.
Yeah.
So this could just be a preference thing.
It could be.
Where we're just sensitive to the fact it tasted like a bar of soap.
Yeah. I do, because I have lavender in the house anyway, I would be tempted to make it again with less. I used I think it was just over half a tablespoon. The recipe called for a full tablespoon. I'd
do like half a teaspoon.
I was thinking I'd maybe go for like half a teaspoon.
Half a teaspoon and work up. Maybe a quarter of a teaspoon and work up. Because it's potent.
Oh,
Like, you open the bag and it's like, whoa, someone's been at Bath and Body Works.
Yeah.
But
that said,
everything else was beautiful.
The soup was lovely. I would absolutely make that again. The pie was really good.
Yep. We had that for leftovers at lunch today, because we are now filming a day later.
Yeah, full disclosure, we just did not do this last night.
In true Hobbit style, we had a dinner party and didn't get around to this.
Yeah.
So, there we go. And
I think safe to say our standout recipe, it was absolutely the lambus bread.
Yes, that was the dark horse, actually, because I'm not a cornbread fan. Like, I don't mind it, but like, not a huge fan. And we had an argument that coarse is not a taste, but I will die on this hill. It tastes quite coarse to me. Whereas because it had a much higher ratio of flour to cornmeal, I felt it was
definitely had a
really
slightly
nice,
cakier texture.
Traditional cornbread is quite cakey.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, it's actually had a better texture, a closer texture to what I thought the shortcake was gonna have. I have since looked into this a little bit. What we made was traditional English or British shortcake, which makes sense given the origin of most of these recipes. And shortcake, which is basically a shortbread, in Scotland we're going to call it shortbread, in England they're going to call it shortcake, and it comes from the fact that it is a slightly more savoury biscuit made using shortening or lard. Traditionally, we just use butter this time, but
yeah,
I think because Americans and certainly more Japanese as well, theirs are more scone-like, which is what I was expecting.
Yes, yes, it's more like cake. But I will say the shortcake sans lavender was delicious.
Yes,
and are very good for tea biscuits.
So good.
So I think we'll revisit. They need tweaking to retry.
They do.
I think both the jelly and the biscuits haven't been written off.
They're worthy of experimentation.
They're on the naughty step, but they've not been cast out yet. We have not thrown them into Mount Doom.
They have a potential redemption arc on their
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, the food went down great. Everybody loved it. We were all stuffed afterwards.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That pie in particular.
Oh, it's
mushroom
so
leek
filling.
is so filling.
You wouldn't expect it to be as filling as it is, but then it is there's the cream and the cheese.
Yeah. Pleased that all of the lactose-free alternatives, again, it's just one of those things that our friend is also lactose intolerant, as well as Matt. So I'm always a bit dubious. I've had some real lactose-free disasters, so I'm always a bit anxious about swaps. But I feel like the lactose-free cream, I don't think there was no difference. It was spot on. So
because we used the remainder of it whipped with the shortcake, and if you hadn't told us it was lactose-free, we would not know.
Yeah. I think the key thing is that it wasn't a plant-based. It's just it is a milk, but it's just they've taken the lactose out. And I think that's the key thing that I need to keep in mind for lactose-free recipes for the future. It also whipped really well, which is great.
It really did.
So, yeah, I think I mean, how are we going to rate this? Are we rating this like rings? What are we doing here? 5 hobbits out of 5? I don't know.
I don't think we can get the full 5 because we do
No.
have treats to do.
No. Yes.
I give this.
I'm going to play it mean and give it a 3.5.
I was kind of
Like, I
thinking
it's better than a 3, but not
Yeah.
quite a 4.
a 4
because
feels almost too generous.
we've had 2 recipes where we were like, and then it does suffer slightly from that we're just going to add in loads of ingredients that feel
Yeah.
kind of unnecessary.
Yeah. Also, some of the ingredients it's adding, like particularly the shortcake, the reason I made it is because I do have rice flour in the house. I use that for other things, but it's not something you would expect a typical British
Yeah.
household to have.
Well, the jelly should have had rosemary, which I
Yeah.
didn't put in it because I don't have rosemary to hand.
So I think there's some really, really excellent traditional recipes in here. Maybe not necessarily traditional, but there's some really good recipes in here. They're just not necessarily going to be the most accessible.
Yeah, I think, especially because our previous 2 have been on children's books, which are obviously designed to be easy and quick and simple. Maybe, I think Redwall is an infamy about following recipes, but they're all technically quite simple books.
Yeah.
So I think that this is sort of our first sort of grown-up book. So I think it's sort of like, yeah, it's not a bad thing that it's a slightly more complicated recipes. It's just something to bear in mind, especially when you're trying to do a multiple course meal.
Yeah.
But very nice. Illustrations are beautiful. If we're going to review the book itself, like, guys, it's beautiful. And there is a host of recipes that we have got bookmarked to try later.
Yeah,
So I think we will be revisiting this, but rather than Lord of the Rings, it's going to be about The Hobbit. But that will be a future video.
It will be.
But yeah, so I think I'm going to give that a solid 3.5 golems, or whatever we're going to go with.
3.5 halflings.
Yes, 3.5 halflings. There we go. Yeah, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.